between the World Travel and Tourism Council and UNWTO continues to flourish. WTTC's members are the leading travel and tourism companies around the world. Our membership stands at 137 now, and we've welcomed 14 more members in 2013. In pursuit of our mission, we continue to focus on research and economic analysis. We complement the body of work by the UNWTO by providing the economic contribution of travel and tourism to GDP, job growth and investment. WTTC produces this annual analysis for 184 economies, including both short-term and 10-year forecasts. WTTC 2013 Global Impact Research highlighted that the industry continued to grow at 3% in 2012 in terms of its contribution to GDP, growing faster than the world's economy. And taking account its direct, indirect and induced impacts, travel and tourism's total contribution to GDP in 2012 was $6.6 trillion, 260 million jobs, and $1.2 trillion in exports. Travel and tourism supports 9% of global GDP and 1 in 11 jobs around the world. By 2023, we forecast that China will overtake the United States as the world's largest travel and tourism economy, measured in terms of total GDP and the size of its outbound market. Take a moment to think about that. There will be more Chinese international tourists than American international tourists in 10 years' time. The prospects for Africa are also strong. Travel and tourism's contribution to GDP across this continent is forecast to grow by 5% per annum over the next 10 years. By 2023, over $123 billion in GDP will be generated by our industry. And over this same period, 2.4 million jobs will be directly created in travel and tourism. Last year, WTTC made a considerable investment in research which compares our industry as a driver of economic development with other sectors. The messages which came out of this study have been crucial in helping all of us to communicate the value of travel and tourism. And to give just one example, this study shows that our industry employs, on a global basis, 6 times more people than the automotive manufacturing industry, 4 times more than mining, and 1/3 more than financial services. As you've heard from the Secretary General, WTTC and UNWTO are aligned in our strategic initiatives and policy areas. The first is visa facilitation. You will already know that our joint research was critical in providing the empirical evidence which led to travel and tourism, and more specifically travel facilitation, being formally recognized for the first time in the G20 declaration in Mexico last year. WTTC and UNWTO are now working with the APEC and the ASEAN countries to extend this important study in that region to underscore the need for changes in visa policies and the employment growth that can result from this change. The second focus is taxation. Our organisations have jointly developed a tax model to assist ministers of tourism in their government discussions during debates on the various forms of taxation. It models the economic and jobs impact of intended taxation changes, providing excellent analysis for finance ministers. This model is now available to governments who wish to understand the impact of new or increased taxes, not only on tourism, but particularly on the wider economy. At WTTC, we believe that cooperation, be it cross-border, cross-sector or cross-organisation, is vital for a successful travel and tourism future. To that end, last year we formally established the Global Travel Association Coalition. With the UNWTO as a launch partner, it brings together the leading private and public sector organisations, including IATA for the airlines, ICAO, ACI for airports, CLEAR for the cruising industry, PATA and the World Economic Forum. And through the Travel Association Coalition, we've been able to align our data points for communication, establish common messaging, and to share research. We ensure that the various parts of this industry speak strongly with one voice. We have concentrated our efforts initially on the visa facilitation issue, which is starting to show real traction around the world. WTTC continues to reinforce our industry's importance through our unparalleled summits. We bring our private sector members together with tourism and transportation ministers, along with key influencers from outside of the industry. We now look forward to our inaugural WTTC Asia Summit in Seoul, the Republic of Korea, on the 10th and 11th of September, with the theme of Staying Ahead of Tomorrow. Prior to the summit, we'll be hosting, jointly with Secretary General and His Excellency Yu Jin-rong, Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism, a Ministers' Roundtable at that event. Next year, the Global Summit of WTTC will take place in Hainan, China, from the 24th to the 25th of April, where we'll continue to explore the challenges that our industry faces and the way forward for public and private sector working together. To close now, I'd like to give you, Mr. Secretary General, a warm thank you for your support over these last 2 years. Taleb, your leadership in representing the travel and tourism industry at the highest levels of government continues to be exemplary. You have made an enormous contribution in your first term of office, and I'm personally delighted that you've agreed to run for a second term. It is a pleasure to work with you and your fine team at UNWTO, and I know that our cooperation will go from strength to strength over the coming months and years. Your Excellencies, Honourable Delegates, thank you for listening. I hope to welcome many of you in Korea in 2 weeks' time and in Hainan Province in April 2014, where you will all be most welcome. Thank you.